Hi there, welcome to my channel. My name is Sarah. Welcome back to all the regular viewers. Always great to have you here. And if you're new here, you're most welcome. Do join the community here. We have a lovely group of people who share some common interests. So say hello in the comments, let us know where you're tuning in from. Today's video is about reinventing your style after a major life change. If any of you have been through a significant change in your life, you may have noticed that it's not so much about what you're wearing, but it's actually a whole shift in your identity and who you are, and you might start to question that. Often what people do here is if they've lost a sense of self, they think that, okay, you know what? I know what I'm going to do. I'm going to go out and I'm going to buy myself some new clothes. And I think there's merit in doing that. However, I think a lot of mistakes happen there because they haven't taken the time to actually think about, well, who am I and who do I want to be going forward? And pausing on that and thinking on that can save you a lot of time and money rather than just going out and trying to figure it out while you're in the shops. That's not a great idea. This is a topic I'm particularly passionate about because when clients come to me from all over the world, a conversation comes around where they say, I've lost myself. I don't know who I am anymore. And I've heard those words many times. Part of what I do with clients is to get them feeling like them again and figuring out who they want to be going forward. And some of the life changes that people talk about with me are things like menopause, a conversation around children, whether that's being an empty nester or just having a little bit more time for yourself after having very young children, or indeed the struggle with not having children. It could be the breakdown of a relationship where a person is suddenly figuring out who they are as an individual without that other person. Career changes can cause a shift as well. There may also be some health challenges. I've worked with people who have had various surgeries, cancer, lost their hair. And often our identity can be caught up in these things like our hair. And finally, emotional and psychological growth that comes from a challenging situation, emerging from that. And sometimes that might be just coming out of a relationship that wasn't the healthiest, where you weren't allowed to express yourself. So there's all sorts of things that can cause this shift in identity and leave a person feeling lost in who they are, and they reach out for help. So why does your style matter in these kind of grand, big changes that can happen in life? Discovering your style or, reinventing it can signal a new chapter in your life. The way, I think, was it Coco Chanel that said, when a woman changes her hair or cuts her hair, she's changing her life. It's the same idea. When you get this new identity, you want to dress for this new person that you are. This can also help boost your confidence and take on new challenges that come your way and indeed opportunities. So it can be a really exciting time, daunting, yes, but exciting as well. I want to go through 4 practical steps to help you reinvent your style if you're going through this major life change. Keep in mind that further work might need to be done. Do get in touch if this is something you're resonating with. We can work together no matter where you are in the world. So one question you might ask yourself is, what item of clothing in my wardrobe currently resonates with the person I want to be? What does that look like? And how do I want to feel in my clothes? That's really key. And what I often encourage people to do is to leave the money at home and go out and explore the shops, because what that does is it takes the pressure off. You don't have to think about, I have to come home with something, because that can lead to compromises and we don't want to do that. Go out and explore, take the pressure off, play dress up, have a little bit of fun and adventure about it. Notice how different things make you feel and consider what it is about those items. Is it the color? Is it the cut? Really think on it, and that will give you some good answers. The other thing that you can do is, if shops are not readily accessible to you, there's so much online. I love to use Pinterest. to explore new styles. I do this regularly for various clients, and I love how individual each of their boards look. It's so attuned to them, and it's not this kind of generic style that we so often see as trends come and go. So get curious about inspiration, whether it's in magazines in a more traditional sense or online. Get curious, put it on your radar, start to take an interest in it. The next thing you can do as you get more comfortable with the direction you want to go in with your style is to start off with some key transitional pieces and maybe not dive into these kind of one of a kind, very unique, regardless of your style personality. So start with some core basics to build your wardrobe around. And these items can take you perhaps through the seasons or at least through the years. So that might be a good coat, or it might be a really good pair of jeans. Something basic that works really well for you. The next thing I would suggest doing is to get a little bit more experimental, and this can start with your own wardrobe. In my course, Streamline Your Style, I do a 28-day shop your wardrobe challenge, and the idea is that you try using your items in new ways. Some of us get very used to wearing that jumper with those trousers and just kind of repeating that, when actually there's lots of different combinations within your own wardrobe that might just give you new ideas. So get experimenting. It doesn't have to cost anything, just a little bit of time, and see what comes up and take note. You might journal on this as well. What worked, what didn't work. You'll learn a lot. Now, inevitably what can happen here is because you're going through a shift in identity and trying new things, it's going to feel a little uncomfortable. Change is uncomfortable, but that's where the growth happens. So notice that if you're feeling like, oh, this is not working, I'm giving up, just know that you're moving outside your comfort zone, and that's exactly what you want to be doing at a time of change and growth. I often say to people, if they're trying something new, try it out at home first. The risk is very low. Nobody's going to see you. Nobody's going to be, criticizing you, and they shouldn't anyway. Let's not pay them too much attention. But if you're tucking something in a new way, or belting something, or, popping the collar up, and you don't usually do these things, do it at home. Desensitize yourself to changes. Try it at home. Do that for a few days, then take it out to the street and build your confidence like that. Change can be uncomfortable, but that's okay. We welcome that. Also keep in mind that when you're trying new things, it's not about getting it perfect, because oftentimes it won't be. And that's okay. Give yourself a little bit of grace there. It's a learning curve. This is not about being a professional in your style. You're learning, and mistakes can happen, and that's okay, but we can learn from them. The important thing is that if you do think that something really doesn't work for you, ask why. That's when the good information comes. So think about, right, is it the silhouette that I created? Was it too tight here? Was it highlighting things I didn't want highlighted? Really dig into the why of something's not working. Likewise, if you put something together that you feel, wow, this is amazing, I feel great, ask why. Same questions. Is it the silhouette? Is it because it's highlighting all the good things? What is it? There's a lot to be learned from asking why. So those are a few tips to help you reinvent your style after a major life change, and to embrace that feeling of being uncomfortable. That's quite okay. It's quite normal, and it means that you're growing and changing. If you're interested in working together, do get in touch. As I say, I work with people all over the world, and indeed in person if you're here in Ireland as well. That's it for today's video. If you enjoyed it and learned something new, please give it a thumbs up, subscribe to the channel if you haven't already, and I'll see you again next week. Take care. Bye bye.